This is the extra episode of Reel Me In: a movie podcast where Chase will go over the 76th Golden Globe nominations they dropped this morning, well, at the time of this recording, and Chase will go over who should win, who will win, and maybe a little bit of his opinion on, just the movies in general. All that and more on Reel Me In. What's up, everybody? This is Chase here, and, I usually do this show with Joel over there. He's not actually over there, but he is over there somewhere in his household. But, typically we do our episodes every single Sunday, but sometimes I'd like to surprise you guys with extra episodes, and this is one of those special occasions. If you are new to the show, this is what I will typically do. As extra episodes, I'll go over the Academy Award nominations, Golden Globe nominations. I'll even record during the live broadcast for the full 3 hours. But if you're a returning listener and you know what I do already, then you know what's up. How you guys doing tonight? It is a rainy, cold night here in Dallas, Texas on this wonderful, muggy Thursday night. And, Hollywood decided to do the same thing and shower us with the Golden Globe nominations, and I think they air January 6th, 2019, so it's actually coming up here pretty fast. And so the nominations dropped this morning, and I wanted to go over with you guys what the nominations are and what my predictions are on who should win and who will win, and maybe if there was a couple snubs along the way, because I think there was. And I don't know how Joel feels, but I don't like to use the word snub, just out there all the time. Like, I use it in special occasions where I go, who in this category is or would have been a legit threat to this group of people and who could actually possibly win. So that's how I look at it. I don't just go, oh, that person was snub. No, I look at the nominations, and I look at my personal picks, and I go, and I try to make an argument to where, like, maybe that person could actually be replaced by this person and could actually win the whole thing, and I would consider that a snub. But, that's just the way I like to roll. But before I begin on the nominations, please, if you guys could like this episode, share it around, and let people know that Reel Me In: a movie podcast is your favorite movie podcast to listen to. And, of course, all the links in the description will be down below for you guys to go follow everybody, including Joel. And so let's go ahead and start from the bottom on up. Now, I'm only going to do the movies. I realize the Golden Globes are television as well. This is a movie podcast. If it was a television podcast, then of course I would do television. And maybe if I watch more TV, I could do that in the future. But for right now, it's just movies. And so going over the first category, we have Best Original Score for a Motion Picture. We have A Quiet Place. We have Black Panther. We have First Man, Isle of Dogs, and Mary Poppins Returns. Now, I have seen 4 out of the 5. Obviously, I have not seen Mary Poppins Returns because I'm not a legitimate critic here in Dallas. I do receive some screeners, and I will always appreciate that, but there are some movies that are going to slip by that I have not seen yet. And, Mary Poppins Returns is one of them. And so, out of the 4, if we're talking Best Original Score, I am of a mindset of 2 movies. I wouldn't mind if Black Panther or First Man took this home. I believe both of those scores for those movies are the ones that stick out to me and the ones I remember the most, where I could leave that theater or that screening and go, yeah, this is one of the best aspects about the movie. And that's the way it was for Black Panther. And that came out almost a year ago. So Isle of Dogs has a really good score as well. I mean, the whole end credit sequence is built around one of the tracks. And A Quiet Place, I got to be honest with you, I don't really remember too much about the score. And of course, I can't really comment on Mary Poppins Returns, but that is a musical, so you could assume that it has a pretty good score. But if I had to pick, I mean, out of the 2 that I think are the strongest, I think I think Black Panther has a shot at this being its only win, period. Like, and I'm talking like the Academy Awards as well. We'll get to that when the nominations come out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Black Panther has a threat in 2 categories, and that would be production design, or actually 3: production design, costume design, and score. So I think it could win. It's very likely, since this is the kind of Golden Globes and it's the Foreign Press Association, they might go Mary Poppins Returns. It's kind of more up their alley. And then First Man actually has a kind of a dark horse chance, but I think I'm going to go kind of out there with a wild prediction and say Black Panther will win this. And if not, it will probably be Mary Poppins. And then, of course, First Man is a dark horse. So the next category is Best Original Song. And I am ashamed to report that I've only heard 2 of these. Sorry. So the first one is from A Private War. It is Requiem for a Private War. The next one is A Star is Born, Shallow. We have Black Panther, All the Stars. We have Boy Erased, Revelation. And we have Dumpling Girl in the Movies. Now, full disclosure, as I'm currently recording this, I'm looking at my Boy Erased screener. I have yet to watch it. I will watch it tomorrow at the time of this recording, and so I have not heard that song yet. I have not seen A Private War, which I'm ashamed that I haven't seen it because I've heard nothing but great things. And then Dumpling, I actually have a screener for that as well because Netflix sent like a whole truckload of them, but I haven't heard that one either. So out of the 2 I have heard of, I said this when I saw the movie, and I still stand by this. If there's any award that A Star is Born can walk home with 100%, it's Best Original Song for Shallow. It's one of the best moments in the movie. It's one of those songs that you can listen to over and over again, and you never get tired of it. This is one of those situations where it's going to not only win this award, it's also going to be nominated for the Academy Awards. We're going to see it performed on stage. We're going to see Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga go up there. It's just bound to happen, folks. So I believe this is kind of a lock. This is like probably one of the few categories where I feel like this is not going to be touched. I guess if I had to pick like maybe a dark horse, I don't know. Maybe A Private War. I have no clue. I haven't heard it. Maybe the Dumpling one. I mean, I don't know if the Press Association likes Dolly Parton or not, but I guess we'll find out. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't really remember the Black Panther one, but I've only seen that movie twice, and I've listened to the soundtrack a couple times, but that was also at the beginning of the year. So it's one of those cases to where, like, once Infinity War came out, I didn't really touch a Marvel movie until Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then after that, nothing. So I believe that A Star is Born has got this locked, bagged, and sealed, and they're going to perform it at the Oscars. It's going to be fun stuff. So moving on to Best Screenplay, we have Green Book, If Beale Street Could Talk, Roma, The Favorite, and Vice. Now, out of the 5, congratulations to myself. A big old pat in the back because I've only seen 2 out of the 5. But here's what we're working with. With Vice, you have Adam McKay, who also co-wrote The Big Short, which he also directed, which that won an Oscar way back in the day. I forgot when The Big Short came out. I think it was 2015. So actually just a few years ago. And then The Favorite, I've been hearing nothing but great things with the screenplay and how snappy it is and how just kind of like dense and material it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the winner. I have seen Roma. I think it's a wonderful screenplay, but I would elevate Roma more in the kind of directing and cinematography and music and acting categories more than screenplay, so that one's kind of out for me. If Beale Street Could Talk, I have not seen it yet, but I will see it within a couple weeks. But Barry Jenkins is a mastermind when it comes to screenwriting, because he also wrote Moonlight in 2016, and that was my favorite film of that year. So, maybe this is one of those cases to where, since he won the Oscar for that, they may just be like, well, you've already got your Oscar and Golden Globes and all that stuff, so let's move on. And then, of course, for Green Book, I like the movie. I'm not one of these haters that's just like, oh, this shouldn't be the best movie of the year. And I forgot which list put it out. I think there was the National Board of Review. I think they put Green Book as their favorite film of the year. I'm not going to agree with that. I like the movie. I have really no issues with it that make me just hate it or anything. It's just kind of like, hey, that was a good movie. Let's move on. But for the screenplay, I don't think it was one of its stronger points. So if I had to pick, believe it or not, it's going to be between the three I haven't seen. So if I had to make some type of judgment, I think it's going to be between Vice and The Favorite. And if I have to pick who should win, if my gut feeling tells me The Favorite should and will win. Because it seems like it's one of those movies to where, and this is including for the Oscars, I think it's going to do very well in the screenplay categories, and I think all three women in the movie are going to get nominated. Kind of like what we're going to talk about when we get to them, but I think that will probably win it. I think Vice has the second best chance, and I think all the rest are kind of flushed, but if I had to make a prediction, I'll say The Favorite should and will win, and then Vice is, could come around the corner and right hook it, if you will. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. So, Best Director, we have Adam McKay for Vice. We have Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. We have Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born. We have Peter Farrelly for Green Book. And we have Spike Lee for Black Klansman. This is an interesting bunch. I'm a little perturbed that Steve McQueen is not in there for Widows. I think he did a fantastic job with that film. I'm also a little perturbed that Lynn Ramsey is not in there for You Were Never Really Here. That is a wonderfully, brutally directed film that I think that it should not be looked over. And then also, I think, hold on, I got my list here. What's his name? Carlos Lopez Estrada for Blind Spotting. Like that was a fantastically directed film. And I would even say to some extent, and I'm one of the few people that will probably put them on there, but for the balancing act that they had to put in all the characters, I wouldn't actually mind seeing the Russo brothers up there for Avengers Infinity War. That's the only award that I could even possibly imagine giving them. I love the movie, but it's not Oscar worthy. And trust me, we'll get to that in just a second. But out of the 5, I have seen 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 5. So Vice is the only thing I have not seen. And I said this in my review, and I will say it again. Roma is a perfectly directed film. It is a perfectly shot film. This thing is so exact in everything that movie was trying to portray. Like, Alfonso couldn't make that movie any more perfect from what he was trying to envision. So, if I was picking who should win, is Alfonso for Roma, because let's face it, unless it is going to sweep big at the Oscars, this might be its only big shot at an award, and I would love to see Alfonso kind of sweep the narrative a little bit and win the Golden Globe, maybe win the Academy Award for it. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. But I think, since this is the Foreign Press Association, and they are a huge fan of musicals, music-type movies, and even feel-good type of movies, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a battle between the guy that voices Rocket Raccoon and one half of the brothers that directed Dumb and Dumber and There's Something About Mary. I'm not even joking. I think that's the battle we're looking at. It's probably going to be between Bradley Cooper and Peter Farrelly. I mean, you know, I personally, out of the two, would probably pick Cooper for Stars Born for directing, but yeah, and you know what? To be honest with you, an outside chance would probably be Adam McKay for Vice. I've been hearing nothing but good things about the movie. Maybe some bad things are coming. I have no clue because the embargo hasn't dropped yet. But I've heard a lot of great things for Vice. My personal pick, who should win, is Alfonso Faroma. But the battle is going to be between Cooper and Farley. And I think they're going to sway more towards A Star Is Born. But who knows? Maybe Alfonso could win it. And I really hope that's the case. So, moving on to Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role, we have Amy Adams in Vice, we have Claire Foy in First Man, we have Emma Stone in The Favorite, we have Rachel Weisz in The Favorite, and we have Regina King in If Beale Street Could Talk. I think the lock in this is probably Regina King. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, you haven't even seen the movie. The buzz I've been hearing about her performance in that movie is going through the roof as we speak. So I think this is one of those situations to where it's like a J.K. Simmons in Whiplash, where like you knew throughout the entire award season run he was going to be the winner in every single award show for supporting actor. I think this is one of those cases where Regina King will probably take this one for Best Supporting Actress. Now, I have not seen The Favorite, I have not seen Beale Street, and I have not seen Vice, so I've actually only seen First Man. And believe it or not, Claire Foy actually gives a pretty great performance in that movie. She is the heart of that movie. She is what grounds Neil Armstrong in that movie, and it's a wonderfully tender performance that her character kind of brings to really shape Neil as a person. And so I like her performance quite a bit. Now, if Regina King, for some weird reason, does not win this, it's going to be between the two favorite girls. I think this movie's got a lot of momentum when it comes to its writing, like I said, and also the performances from Stone, Weisz, and Coleman. So it's very possible that those two could duke it out. Now, when I see the movie here in about a week or so, I will make a decision finally to be like, okay, they deserve it over that one, or vice versa. So I think Regina King's got this in the bag, but I think a dark horse kind of pick would be one of the favorite girls, and I think the other two are kind of washed out. And that's coming from a person that's only seen one out of the four nominees. So there you go. All right, the next category that we're dealing with is a best performance by an actor in a supporting role. We have Adam Driver in BlacKkKlansman. We have Mahershala Ali for Green Book. We have Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me? We have Sam Rockwell for Vice. And we have Timothée Chalamet for Beautiful Boy. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, this is another lock. I've been hearing nothing but positive buzz for Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me? Just like with Regina King. But on the flip side, I have seen Can You Ever Forgive Me? And his performance is absolutely wonderful. He and Melissa McCarthy in the film have such great chemistry, and there's a lot of moments in the movie that he actually is such a shining spotlight on his performance that I'm just like, oh wow, like he is the perfect representation of like a supporting actor, where like Melissa McCarthy does her thing for like 99% of the movie, and then when he's in the scene, he just kind of props her up, and then he shines as well, and it's just really great to watch. So I actually think that he's going to win this if I had to make my pick. Now, I think the dark horse pick is Mahershala Ali for Green Book. He was very good in the movie, and I could see him actually sneaking in there and possibly stealing this. And I think the third dark horse is Adam Driver in Black Klansman. Rewatched the movie again the other night. He is absolutely terrific in the movie. So it would be between those three for me. Once again, I have not seen Vice, but I heard Sam Rockwell's performance is more of a caricature of George W. Bush than an actual performance, but we'll see. And then Timothée Chalamet in Beautiful Boy. He's good in the movie, but I don't really care for the movie at all. And it's one of those cases to where him and Steve Carell were like, they were just acting their butts off. And I saw that they were like trying to make the movie better than it was, but then it was just hacked to pieces in the editing, and I just didn't really care for it. But I think Richard E. Grant has a 90% chance, and Mahershala Ali and Adam Driver both have a 5% chance. And if you have not seen Can You Ever Forgive Me, please go check it out. Definitely the best Melissa McCarthy movie I've ever seen her do so far. She gives a great performance as well, but we will get into that in just a second. All right, so best performance by an actress in a musical or comedy. We have Charlize Theron in Tully. We have Constance Wu in Crazy Rich Asians. We have Elsie Fisher for 8th Grade. We have Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins Returns. And we have Olivia Colman for The Favorite. Now, I have seen 2 out of the 5. I can tell you right now, the 2 that I've seen are not going to come anywhere close to this award. I think that one of my picks might be a dark horse, and I'll get to that in just a second. But let's talk about Tully first. Now, I have not seen Tully, but I heard Charlize Theron was really great, and she's always great in everything for the most part, and so that doesn't surprise me. I've been hearing some pretty great things about Emily Blunt. I've been hearing things on the lines of like, she doesn't have to be in Julie Andrews' shadow, and she really just kind of makes it her own, and she does her own thing, and she really kind of stands out in the best way possible. That's great news. I can't wait to see it. But then, Olivia Colman in The Favorite, I've heard nothing but great things. Out of the 3 women in that movie, she's the one that gets the most praise. So I would not be surprised if Olivia Colman took this home and an 80% shot, and then I think I would give 15% chance to Emily Blunt, because once again, Golden Globes, they like musicals. Obviously, they have their own damn section for it. And then I actually think a 5% chance Elsie Fisher might take it for 8th Grade, because that performance is a type of performance that's not really boastful. It's not really loud. It's more of a subtle type of portrayal of, a middle schooler with anxiety, and just how the youth would act in today's time with like social media and the technology and stuff. And I thought she did a really great job just portraying that. And, that's not easy to do. And so I think she has a 5% chance. I think Emily Blunt has a 15% chance. I think Olivia Colman will probably win this. And then just to comment on Constance Wu a little bit for Crazy Rich Asians, make no mistake about it, she is great in the movie. Like her and the gentleman that she has the relationship with in the movie, I forgot his name, but he does a fantastic job as well. Like, it's actually like legitimately great performances inside of a comedy, and so her being nominated here, I'm not angry or anything. It's one of those things where like, okay, I can see it. So that's my picks for those. Okay, best performance by an actress in a drama. We have Glenn Close for The Wife. We have Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born. We have Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me? We have Nicole Kidman for Destroyer. And we have Rosamund Pike for A Private War. Congratulations, I've only seen 2 out of the 5. So the 2 I've seen is A Star Is Born and Can You Ever Forgive Me? Now, to comment on the other 3. I heard that Glenn Close in The Wife is actually really great. So I have no problems with that. I heard Nicole Kidman in Destroyer is like one of her career best. So there's that. And I heard the same for Rosamund Pike, one of her career best too. So, to be honest with you, it might be one of those three. But this is also the Foreign Press Association that we're dealing with. There is, I would say there's like a 70% chance Lady Gaga's probably going to win this. I don't personally want her to. I like her in the movie quite a bit, but I still think Bradley Cooper gave the best performance out of the two. That's just kind of my hot take, if you will. So I really don't want her to win. Who I want to win out of everything I've seen, I mean, obviously, Melissa McCarthy gave a pretty damn good performance, and I wouldn't mind seeing her win this. That would be kind of interesting, given the past couple years she's had with her comedies and stuff, to really bounce back. But I can also see this is the tricky thing about this category. I think Lady Gaga has a 70% chance of probably taking it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rosamund Pike snuck in there and kind of stole it, or Glenn Close. I think the two out of the three movies, two of them, the three that probably not many people have seen, I think two of them have a really solid chance. A very undercard type of dark horse chance, but I think a chance nonetheless to really kind of sweep in there and kind of steal it for Gaga. But I think this is just one of those moments to where I think people are going to vote for her, and, it was a good performance. It's just not anything mind-blowing, and, her win's not going to make me angry. It's just one of those things to where I wish we would have seen a little bit more kind of nomination pool from, like a Toni Collette in Hereditary, Viola Davis in Widows. I'm trying to think. The main actress in Roma. I mean, there's a lot more performances I thought this year in the drama category, and hopefully the Academy Awards will nominate some of these people I just mentioned. But yeah, it's just one of those things to where I don't know. I feel like those people that I mentioned got snubbed, but it is what it is. So I think Gaga's pretty much got this. Okay, moving on to actor in a musical or comedy. We have Christian Bale in Vice, playing that good old Dick Cheney. We have John C. Reilly in Stan and Ollie. We have Lin-Manuel Miranda for Mary Poppins Returns. We have Robert Redford, the Old Man and the Gun, and we have Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. God, it's getting worse and worse. I've only seen one movie out of the 5. Yeah, I missed the Old Man and the Gun. I know it's like one of his supposedly his last one, but he's gonna get swallowed up in this. To be honest with you, I think Viggo Mortensen might have this. And I know I'm not just saying it because it's the only movie I've seen out of the 5. He is actually really funny in the movie, and he actually does give another side of his performance that has a lot of heart, a lot of girth to it, to where I went like, that was really a well-rounded performance. And so I think he's got a good chance. Now, I think that he's on the verge of like kind of like Gaga's situation, where I give him like a 70% chance. And I think a 30% chance Christian Bale might win it. Because once again, I've been hearing nothing but great things from Vice and the acting and the ensemble that is put together in that movie. So very likely that Christian Bale could take it for playing Dick Cheney, but I think Viggo Mortensen has got this. So we'll see. All right, moving on to best performance by an actor in a drama. We have Bradley Cooper for Star is Born. We have John David Washington for Black Klansman. We have Lucas Hedges for Boy Erased. We have Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. And we have Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate. Okay, so I have not seen At Eternity's Gate, but I know he plays Vincent Van Gogh. Once again, did not see Boy Erased, but I will see it here tomorrow. So out of the 3 I have seen, I'm sorry, I like Black Klansman quite a bit, and I love John David Washington in it, but he's going to get swallowed up in this category. And I also think Lucas Hedges is going to get swallowed up. So it's going to be between Bradley Cooper, Rami Malek, and Willem Dafoe. You know, the Foreign Press Association likes Willem Dafoe quite a bit. He had a lot of momentum last year for the Florida Project. So it's very possible he might kind of squeeze in there for that. You know, okay, folks, here's the deal. I'm one of the people, I guess, in the minority that actually liked Bohemian Rhapsody, and I do think Rami Malek does give a really, really great performance. He's probably going to win this, and I don't really know if that's the right choice, but it's one of those things to where he's got a lot of momentum behind his performance, and I feel like this is going to be the only win that this movie gets. I personally would have liked to seen Joaquin Phoenix or Ethan Hawke in there. Joaquin Phoenix for You Were Never Really Here, and Ethan Hawke for First Reformed, or even Ryan Gosling for First Man. And I would even say, for an argument's sake, Daveed Diggs for Blind Spotting. I mean, there is a lot more people I actually think were kind of snubbed. Those four in particular, I do think were snubbed. I think all four of those that I mentioned have a legitimate chance to kind of squeeze in there, but whatever. So out of the ones that are listed, I think Rami Malek has probably a 90% chance of winning, maybe 5% chance to Bradley Cooper, and maybe another 5% chance to Willem Dafoe. But it just seems like everything is kind of going into place, and Rami is going to probably get this. Okay, moving on to the top. What is this? Okay, I got 4 more left. Sorry. Okay. Best motion picture, musical, or comedy. We have Crazy Rich Asians, Green Book, Mary Poppins Returns, The Favorite, and Vice. Once again, I've seen 2 out of the 5. I think this is going to be a lock in the bag for either Vice or The Favorite. I think these 2 will actually carry on to a lot of Academy Award wins, and, you know, good for them. I've been hearing, once again, nothing but great things. Green Book has a small chance. I would be surprised, in a happy sense, of course, because I'd be like, oh, wow, this one out of the 5, but Crazy Rich Asians might do it. And then Mary Poppins might sneak in there, because once again, musicals, they love them. But I think Vice or The Favorite are probably the front runners into this, and I really can't peg on who will win, but who should win. You know, I'm hoping that The Favorite's good, and I might pick that. But I can't really make a judgment call because I've only seen 2 out of the 5. But I think it will be between those 2. And Green Book has a small chance as well. But who knows? All 5 of them kind of have a small chance. So, best motion picture foreign language film, we have Capernaum. Probably mispronounced that. We have Girl, Never Look Away, Roma, and Shoplifters. I've only seen 1 out of the 5. I'm not going to even comment on 3 of them because the momentum for Roma and Shoplifters is through the roof. It's going to be between one of those 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Roma took this as a consolation prize because it did not get, well, we'll get there, but it did not get nominated for Best Picture Drama. So between those 2, it'll probably be Roma. Netflix is pushing this thing hard. A lot of people are ending up loving this movie. So I think Roma has the probably the best shot. But who knows? And the one might sweep in there. Best Motion Picture Animated, we have Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, I believe that's pronounced it, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, I have seen 3 out of the 5. I'm going to be seeing Spider-Man here in a couple days. And out of the ones I've seen, I would personally pick Incredibles 2. That is by far the best thing that I have seen out of the 5. But I would not be surprised if Spider-Man wins this, because I've been hearing nothing but praise for this movie. I've yet to hear a bad thing about this movie, and it's sitting at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So, you know what's funny? Pixar usually has a pretty good chance of winning. Now, the Foreign Press Association kind of loves Pixar, and so I would not be surprised if Incredibles 2 won this, but I think I'm going to give it to the underdog. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is going to garner Sony with a Golden Globe for Best Animated Feature. How crazy is that? So I think that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has a pretty good chance. I think it will win. And, I can't really comment on it right now, but it sounds like it should win. Now, if I had to pick out of the three, like I said, Incredibles 2 is my personal favorite. I think Isle of Dogs, on a visual level and the artistry that has to go into stop motion, is incredible. There you go, pun intended. But and a lot of work goes into it. But I personally liked Incredibles 2 more. But I think they're going to surprise us with a little Spider-Man. Okay, last category. And this is going to shock everyone with what I say, but please bear with me. I need to take a sip of water for what I'm about to rant on. Excuse me. Okay, so we're dealing with Best Motion Picture Drama. We have A Star is Born, Black Klansman, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, If Beale Street Could Talk. Now, I've seen 4 out of the 5. I have not seen Beale Street, so I can't really comment on that. If it is meant to be in there, it is meant to be in there, so I can't really talk about the quality of the movie, because that would be stupid for me to yell about a movie that I have not seen yet. For snubs that I think should have gotten in there, that kind of made me angry. Hereditary, Widows, Blind Spotting, First Man, You Were Never Really Here. Like, this is insanity, folks. Like, even 8th Grade. Like, if you're going to nominate Elsie Fisher, for God's sake, nominate the movie. Now, that could fall under comedy, but I think that's more of a drama. So, yeah, I would say those are a few snubs for sure. So, okay, that's out of the way. Even The Hate U Give. I love that movie quite a bit, and I think that actually had a legit chance of maybe winning as well. So, okay, going down the 4 I have seen. A Star is Born is a fantastic movie. I love that movie. Out of the 4, I would say that Black Klansman is my favorite. I would say Star is Born is my second favorite. Then I'm going to go Black Panther, then Bohemian Rhapsody. And I like all 4 of them to some degree. I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody should be in there. Once again, I listed several other movies that should be in there. And I don't think it's going to win at all. It might. I have no clue. I mean, if they nominated Rami Malek and they put the movie in the drama category, maybe they have confidence. I have no clue. A Star is Born has probably the best chance at winning. Maybe If Beale Street Could Talk. And I would be happy if Black Klansman won. I really would. I like the movie quite a bit. Might be in an end of the year list. Who knows? I have no clue. But here is where I have an issue with Black Panther. As you guys know, I like me some superhero films. I like me some Marvel films. I even own Black Panther, as we speak, in a closet down the hall from my bedroom. I own the movie. I have seen it twice. I like the movie. I liked it a little bit better on a rewatch, I say this with love in my heart, Black Panther should go nowhere near Best Picture for drama, nonetheless, or even an Academy Award for Best Picture. I am sorry, but that movie is nowhere near Oscar quality for Best Picture. If you want to discuss production design or costume design or music or score, I am totally with you. I think that movie has an argument to be made. It should be in those categories. It is not that good of a movie, folks. I don't understand where people are just I don't get it. Like, I get its cultural significance, and I'm not taking that away from it. But that does not equal a Oscar-worthy movie. It really does. If it was, then once again, argument could have been made. But I just listed to you 5 other movies that have a better chance at winning than and what should win than a Black Panther. If the Golden Globes gives it to Black Panther, I guess that's great. I'm not going to take it away from its win because I did not vote in that awards kind of junket, but it's upsetting because it's not that good of a movie. Like, I like the movie. It's not even my favorite Marvel movie this year. It's Infinity War. Infinity War is a far superior movie to Black Panther. And it's even got problems. I don't understand where this Best Picture push for Black Panther has come from. I really don't. I like the movie a lot. I understand its impact that it has made on pop culture and the history of movies. It is the 3rd highest grossing movie of all time. Is it worldwide or here? I believe it's just here domestically. Either way, it has made groundbreaking effects throughout the industry, throughout box office, throughout pop culture. I get it. But don't reward it with a Best Picture nom because of those attributes. That just seems to me like, oh, you were really successful, you're really popular, and you're a really important movie. We should just pat you on the back and give you that. It's almost like it's like a participation award. Make the movie earn it on its own merits. I just feel like people are just putting it up there. And it's almost like a consolation prize. It's like, well, you did very good. You did very good when you were in theaters. Here you go. And that just seems disingenuous to me. And it just seems like it's I don't know. It's one of those things to where I feel like people are putting this like fake aura around it, going, oh, here's all these nominations and awards you're going to get. And it's like, it's not that good of a movie. If it was a better movie, that would be a better argument. But it just makes it look like you feel guilty for some weird reason, because it did have a cultural impact and it's not nominated anywhere. So you have to just give it this. And it's just, I don't know. It just does not sit well with me. And once again, not crapping on the movie. I like the movie. I just don't think it has any business being anywhere near this category. Once again, I think Infinity War is a far superior movie to Black Panther. If I had to rank like my favorite superhero movies of the year, Black Panther is second. But even then, it's just I don't know, guys. So that's kind of my issue with Black Panther. There are several other movies that could have been in there, but I think what it boils down to is it's probably going to be a 3-way tie. Actually, probably a four-way tie between A Star Is Born, Beale Street, Black Panther, and Bohemian Rhapsody. I honestly don't know which way they're going to swing. If they keep up with the whole musical concept, it might be Rhapsody or A Star Is Born. Star Is Born has, I think, more of an edge. I did say that Shallow was going to be the only thing it's going to win for Best Original Song, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Beale Street might be really great with some voters. Rhapsody might win it, but I think I don't know. Also, a gut feeling is just like they might give it to Black Panther, but that's kind of the more harder ones for me to kind of peg. So, my personal pick would be A Star Is Born because I have not seen Beale Street yet. So, we'll see. But what's great about these award shows? Before I wrap up here, is that it doesn't really matter what's nominated in the end. It doesn't really matter what wins in the end. Everyone's got their favorites of the year. Everyone's got their least favorite of the year. It's just, it's something fun for us film fans to kind of just see film being celebrated in some way, shape, or fashion. I know I get angry at some of the nominations, but in reality, it's just nice to see movies being celebrated throughout many award shows, whether it be the BAFTAs or this or the Academy Awards or the SAG nominations, Directors Guild, all that stuff. It's great. And so, the Golden Globes kind of kick off this whole award season. I love covering this for you guys. I know Joel does too, and I know the Academy Awards is just around the corner as well, so I can't wait to do that with you guys. But so thank you for listening to this extra episode of Reel Me In: a movie podcast where I went over the 76th Golden Globe nominations. It was a lot of fun, but please let me know down below what you thought got snubbed, what you think will win, or what you think will lose in each category. Just whatever. I just want to know your thoughts down below, or shoot out a tweet to me, a message, however you guys want to contact me. So I am Chase. Tune in on Sunday, where Joel and I will be back with another episode of the normal podcast where we will go over one of the nominations that I talked about, Green Book. So we'll see you guys on Sunday, and award season. I'm super excited. You guys excited? Let's do this.